guys, and welcome back to the Hot Seat. I'm your host, Priscilla Moy. So I really hope you guys really enjoyed that interview with JC Lopez. It was our first time meeting and first time introducing you guys to this guest. I love when the audience either gets a recurring guest or a new person, or they've been on a different show, but we can bring out something new every single time. And speaking of recurring and bringing something new, we actually have an impromptu person that happened to pop in today that would also like to sit in the hot seat while we wait for our other guest. So you've seen him all over the place, whether in LA or Vegas, and definitely a lot on social media shows. He's amazing, and every time he comes in here, he's got a whole new look and a whole lot of stuff going on. So everyone, please welcome Paul Gunn. Welcome back, Mr. Purple Hair. Good to see you.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for having me back.
Hair. This is amazing.
This is.
You got to talk about the hair because it's a story.
It's funny because, well, there's like a backstory behind all this. Well, to answer your question, Ziggy and I have a couple of parts on Skate to Hell, Sean C. Phillips' film, and we are going to be in Nelson, Nevada, starting tomorrow. I mean, they've been filming for the last about a week, I believe. But yeah, it's a comedy horror, so the hairstyle I kind of just cooked up for the part that we're playing. So well, thank you.
It's very well done. Too. Like you got some
thank you.
Orange. You got shit that's highlight. It's dark. It's everything.
What's the weirdest hair color or style that you've had?
I went Rihanna red back in college.
Really?
Really, like you think of like a candy red apple or a lollipop.
Okay. Yeah.
Freshman year of college.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how did it make you feel?
Cool. It was a vibe for that, and I don't know if I do it now. Maybe a wig. I think if I'm gonna do crazy colors like that, I think I would do wigs.
Yeah. Okay.
Because it's a lot of upkeep.
Yeah.
As you know, like it starts to fade, or your hair grows out, and I have black hair. Like you got constantly, and you don't want to have like 3 inches of black, and then it's not a vibe.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Sure.
I mean, it's a lot of work.
It is.
I mean,
the upkeep.
When guys ask about like, oh, hey, what should I eat or how should I work out, and I'm like, okay, how good do you want to look? Do you want to look competition good, or do you just want to, I don't know, firm up a little bit? Because you can't just go to the gym and work out like in order to look like competition good or be ready for a photo shoot good.
It's different. Your body's different. Everyone's different. The genetics are different.
Yeah.
Well, height, size, all that stuff. So it's not the same.
Exactly.
It's a general question. It's like, all right, well, I don't know, dude.
Yeah, but then like when I write all this stuff, I mean, and I learned this a while back because they're like, okay, I just want to kind of get in shape, and then you like write all this stuff down for them, and you give it to them, and they're like, oh, okay, well, I don't know if I can do that, and then they throw it away.
Right, yeah, it just seemed a little too much. Too much for me.
So right. It's we it's a lot more involved than just, okay, I got to eat chicken breast now. There's like it's structured like if you want to get in that shape. If you don't want to get in that shape, okay, there's like some really simple things to do. But every time you drive by a really nice golf course and it's all green and lush and manicured and edged and everything is just perfect on it, there's a lot of maintenance that is involved to make it look that way, and it's the same with hair.
Everything. It's a lot. It's a lot of work.
Yeah, and I understand like now when girls are like, oh yeah, I'd rather just put on a wig or put on like hippie things, and because I was like a hair model for a while, and I worked for Robert Cromians, Paul Mitchell, Sebastian Redkin, Wella. I mean, I was kind of like the hair show whore in town. And it's just because like having Asian hair, like first off, it's very durable and it bounces back. So whenever you have like weird stuff done to it, you bleach it, you strip it, you color it. Like our hair kind of tends to like just rebound and come right back, and because it's really thick and like there's I don't know, it's very durable. Number one. Number two, it holds the style and the color and stuff. So we would get hired a lot for hair shows. And I'm like, I've had so many different hairstyles and so many different haircuts and colors but it's a lot of maintenance, and like you can damage your scalp.
Oh yeah, the scalp starts to burn and stuff, and it's too much.
Yeah.
But let's talk about. I really want to ask you is what happened to the Facebook? You got hacked, and now like I got this friend request that was like not public, and I was like, this is fake. I was like, I sat on it.
So it's a little sus.
Observe. And I had to make sure because like he has a certain posting style he does. He's very honest on his Facebook. So let me watch for a while because here I am to have two who's the real one.
Right.
So what's going on with that?
I made some videos on TikTok, and then I used their music on there. But then when I went over to Facebook and I posted it, they don't coincide. And so I had like BMI or I don't know, Warner Brothers, and they're like, we need you to take down your, posts and stuff. And I'm like, okay, whatever. And then, but they're serious about it. So yeah, you could get your Facebook banned.
Wow.
Which is what happened to me.
That's insane.
Yeah.
That's
So
sometimes they'll mute it. Right,
What?
I've gotten a lot of videos where they're just muted, and I'm like, whatever, it's fine. But like for the whole Facebook be taken down.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Because you're very active too. Like, what is the vibe?
I don't know. What, have you ever had like stuff? What's the worst thing that you ever had to deal with on Facebook?
I mean, not much on Facebook. But as regards to the like meta, it's just if they just say, oh no, this is not allowed to be shown in certain countries based on the music or copyright. But thankfully, I've never been fully hacked.
Okay. Well, on a good note is that like the less people I have, like it's easier to you see what people that I actually know are doing and trying.
Yeah, I know it's a vibe. So at least I know it's real because I'm just like, yeah, this is Paul.
That's really
the posting was pretty much up to with this person. I was like, that's it. I don't think you can impersonate.
His sentence composition and his grammar is just. It's terrible.
Every day is a new day of It's always exciting, so I don't think anyone can fake that. It's hard to fake.
It's
since I last seen you, you're talking a lot about your history, your theater, all the things, and where you're at now. How's it going with the hustling? I mean, you seem constantly booked based on this new Facebook. You're always doing something. You're doing some new photo shoots. You're posting some throwbacks. But now here you are doing movies. So what's the big life like? Like, what's the vibe?
So, thank you for asking. So last year, SAG had that strike, right? So we weren't working a whole lot then. And then after the strike ended, wow, great, but it's now hiatus because it's holiday season. So there's like usually a break between like about Halloween till about spring break, and they usually show reruns of things, and then you got it's the holiday season, so you have all these like Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer and all that stuff, and then the Super Bowl, and there's all these things that they have planned out. So like a lot of times the movie industry kind of takes a break then, and series take breaks then. So didn't have a whole lot going on since last summer, to be honest with you. I went to Oregon, and I helped my mom. My stepfather passed away about a year ago from a stroke. Yeah, no, that's right. Thank you. And but she's out there in the middle of the sticks and has like maybe within a mile, like maybe 5 or 6 neighbors, because she's out in the boonies. So if you think of Eugene, but by the coast, and it's beautiful there. It's quiet. I got a chance to. It's like the universe finally put me into a place where I was forced to try to write something. And that's something that I've been putting off for a long time. So to answer your question, I decided, okay, well, you know what? I came up with some story ideas and concepts, and, I had it. I didn't know what I was going to do with it, but, eventually Ziggy and I ran into this great it's kind of like meeting Gandalf or Yoda or Merlin, because he's been in the industry for a long time. And Chris, I love you. Thank you so much for everything that you've done and shared with us. But Chris, our friend, has been in the entertainment industry for over 30 years, and he started off as a film developer, but physical film, so there's those dark rooms with the chemicals and stuff, and he started off there, and then he worked his way up, and he started taking photographs, and then he started doing like New York Fashion Week and London Fashion Week and Paris Fashion Week, and so he's really good with glamour type pictures, and then he started shooting film, and he's gosh, like such a renaissance, man. Like I've had a chance to travel a lot, and I've had a chance to do a lot of wild and crazy things. But Chris, oh my gosh, like he can edit film, he can shoot film, he can shoot pictures. He can also do special effects, and he can also do Unreal Engine 5, what runs those big, like the LED screens. So basically, we decided to team up, and he has like a whole slate of films that are ready and edited and ready to go. And then he has like about 40 screenplays and concepts that he's sitting on because he was, waiting for the right people to come along. And I worked with Chris on it was a bilingual film, and it's called Loose Ends Down, and it's still in post-production right now. But we got to talking, and he's interesting to me because he's an older than me. He's an older Asian dude with long hair, and he has a British accent.
Amazing. Yeah.
And he was born in India, grew up in the UK, and he has the UK schooling, and he has like the UK, like when it comes to theater or English like they're like, in our realm, in the world of theater and film, that's broadcast in English, like they are top notch. And then he moved to Hong Kong and started doing things there. So he's very trained.
Cultured.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And has the equipment, and we're just working on getting that sort of stuff together. So Ziggy and Gunn are working on their production credits, as well as getting roles that are more, well, I guess he analyzed our stuff, and he's like, well, kind of might want to consider changing the public's I don't know, vision of you or interpretation, because I've been playing a lot of heavy roles. Heavies are, the main bad guy, the gangster, the drug dealer.
And all that stuff. We talked about how you were on Bullet Train, and I recognized him right away, and I was like, there he is, playing the tough guy, the glass, got a cigarette in hand.
He looks good, but just don't let him say anything. So, but thank you. But and he's like, okay, that's great and all, but you got to change the perception, and you have to start doing more lead roles, and you have to start doing more protagonist roles. So he has us in mind when he writes and when he casts
That's great.
stuff.
That's
So,
fantastic. I mean, to me, if it helps at all, and if Chris is watching, like you and Joe are very character actors to me, and it's not easy to do that. Maybe it's the theatrics in both of you, and we'll meet Joe in a second. But it's very much you guys aren't focused on like the beauty of film all the time. A lot of times when I see you guys are always in a character. You guys are always doing character shots. And for some actors, it's very difficult and kind of too vulnerable for them to showcase like, this is like, I'm like an angry person. You know what I mean? Like it takes a real theatric person to do those things. So if it helps you at all, to me, maybe it's because I know you guys personally, but like, I think that you play like those. Instead of keeping you in a box, I can see that you definitely aim towards versatility.
Oh, cool.
You guys are the type that I feel like just jump at anything that sounds super cool. Like you're like, that sounds cool. Let's just do it. That's what you to me. That's the vibe. Like, that's pretty crazy. Some blood coming out of my eyes. Let's freaking do it. Like,
and you're right, because I've been a singer and a dancer before, and an acro, and it's like a lot of times those skills are based on visual kind of things, and so you have to use a different set of muscles. But when you move into acting, which you're very right, you must be able to, if you want to be considered an actor, you must be able to show vulnerability, and you must be able to cry and get sad, or you must be able to get angry, or you have to be disheveled. But the more that you're able to just let go and be an acceptance of yourself, then that it's easier to fit into other roles, because like you can only do the same stuff so much.
Before you get typecast, and then like if there's no role for you, no one's going to consider you, and then you're just sitting there like, great, I put myself in a pigeonhole. Fantastic. Great.
I don't know. Some people they just they can do that, and for some, I don't know, but I kind of figured I just wanted to live as many lifetimes as I can in this lifetime, but that's just me. So,
but how's it feel being back in Las Vegas doing it? Because you're a Cali guy, like you're out there in Hollywood, like do you love it? You you come back, because I feel like you guys come in and you run away. Right away. Like, I can only get you guys in the studio at it, like once a year, maybe, and you're
Really?
my chance.
Yeah, I just, I always love to come and talk to you.
I mean, don't get me wrong, we're
Whenever you
all
want.
open here, we're
Yeah.
close, so Vegas, yes.
No.
It
feels like it's, I mean, because like now with the baseball team coming and then Hollywood 2.0 coming, you must be excited about that.
I have my feelings.
Yeah. Okay.
I have my thoughts. I'm not putting all the eggs in the basket. Let me just put it that way.
Okay.
We all know Las Vegas. We have a lot to go. I feel like it's going to be taken advantage of properly, if that makes sense. If I can say in the right business sense.
Okay.
You know, I think
just
Vegas,
it's kind of like when you buy a new house and you're like waiting to work the kinks out or something.
Yeah, but you don't know how to take care of a home,
Right,
and you don't know what you need to do to maintain it. That is how I feel like, oh my God, we have to choose a certain type of locks on our door, right? It's the same type of the reason, and it's not negative, but I definitely see the reality. I think you worked in Vegas and film. I worked in Vegas and film, and we've definitely worked in different levels without knowing until you get into it, and then you want to exit quickly. So, but I feel like in that sense, to maintain a giant production company, it's not just a studio like this. Not hating on small studios, but we're talking big, like there's going to be departments there. There's arts department, there's makeup, there's costumes, and they're holding it there. I mean, people work there 24/7. They're constantly a literal studio, just as much as Warner Brothers, Paramount. And so the hands and the bodies that you need to do that, but also the knowledge and the credentials in order to know how to run those things. I believe there needs to be more thought into that, because I believe it will be outsourced. And I'm not just saying to hate on everyone, but in my experience and what I've seen in working with people in these different departments, a lot of those people for big productions come from LA. Or they'll come from New York. Especially costumes will come from New York and wardrobe. And DPs and stuff. But if we need at-home people, they might move here. Principals, I think a lot of them will be cast
from
elsewhere when the SAG franchise agencies, which we don't have here, right? That's another thing you think about, you know? So in my mind, in order for it to be very all Vegas based for us locals to take advantage of it without just being stand-ins, doubles, or BG
extras,
or BG or working grip, things like that, I think there needs to be serious, you know.
It'll be interesting to see.
It'll be interesting for sure. And, you know, I'll be here sitting and watching. The show. Let's get the popcorn.
American film market, which is usually in Santa Monica, is going to be here next year and starting from now on. So that's another thing. So I don't.
Yeah.
It's just.
But it's also asking the question of the standard that they're looking for. With the American film market, they might be placed here, but where are those films coming from, right? Are they going to buckle down and accept, right? It's those questions that you ask, you know, and it's not hating, it's just a very professional way of looking at the business in general. You know, because the Academy Awards might not want that level in you with a $1,000 budget, even though Vegas thinks that was the most amazing thing they've ever seen in the past 20 years.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? So Vegas, it might be great, but in the real world of things where billions of dollars put in a production company might need a little bit more of a, you know? Yeah, because I don't think we have a big SAG franchise agency in Las Vegas. We don't, right? Exactly. So that's
it's been a while. I used to be with Lens, but I think Jackie Bascal is, but
I get $200 10-hour background from agencies like those, and even then sometimes they'll be like, no, sorry, you don't qualify, and I'm like, I didn't ask, but thank you. So you know, things like that. So it's more so it's to take advantage. I think there's hope, but in reality, I think we can't just bank on Mark Wahlberg bringing that here and then just him being the ticket to success. I think we still have to work for it.
Well, ideally, if I get anything, you know, running, and Joe and I, you know, because we're working on stuff with Chris, and then I would ideally kind of like to come back here and put all my friends to work.
You guys are also in LA. See, that's awesome, but you know what I mean.
But we'll,
So, but that'd be great, though.
I'd like to, but we'll see.
But it takes people like that, though, in order to know film, to bring film, and have film here.
Right.
At that, you know what I mean? So it takes people like you and takes people like Joe and Chris to make Vegas have that same level as maybe Hollywood
Right.
1.0.
You know, in 1.0.
Whatever you want to call it. 1.0.
Or is it Atlanta? Well, I was talking to like a buddy of mine who's a producer, and he was like, because it's like when you get to the point where you can start hiring people for things, and you're thinking, oh well, I should get my best friend or my sister, brother-in-law, whatever. My producer friend who's had some experiences, he's like, look, I'll give you my experience with it if you want to know. Like, yeah, sure, please tell me. And he's like, listen, as much as we love our family members and we love our friends and we want to see them succeed and get forward in whatever they're doing, you got to understand that the business is difficult to get into because it is unlike any kind of business that you've ever been in. And in order for you to succeed, you must love living that lifestyle and doing that work. And that work often, calls for you to be on set for a good 12 or 15 hours, but then you got to come back the next day, and then the next day, and then the next day. So if you're not used to that and you're not flexible, it's going to be a pain in the butt. And then what happens is when you hire that person and then they're like, oh, I just made plans with so-and-so and then we got to be out of here tonight. And then you can't let them out because we're not through filming.
Right.
And then they start getting antsy or they don't understand. And it's like, look, I want to get out of here too. And then if they decide to get frustrated, ticked off, and then leave, that puts you in a bad position. And then that puts you, and then now you're risking a friendship or, so there's a lot of stuff that goes on behind the scenes.
And it's overshadowed by ego because they hear, oh, it's a movie. I'm going to be a star. But they go in there not knowing what you got to do and what you also need. You also need to contribute.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like you also know this experience, but maybe it's from the theater at work ethic. That you know that you got to walk in prepared and know that.
You have to do the work.
And you don't want to just be there and be like, I'm amazing.
Yes, I know. It's not.
You're making me recite the lines right now, seriously.
It's actual work.
Yeah,
it's actually, you can't just hang out with a bunch of movie stars.
And then call yourself a movie star.
Right. You have to be able to know your lines. You got to be able to have ideas.
Who knew? OMG. Acting is not just reading.
You're welcome. I just saved you a ton of time if you ever thought about doing this sort of stuff.
I know, but they do though because Hollywood 2.0, it's here. It's our ticket. That is what I'm trying to say in a less casual form than him and I would probably do off camera. Yeah. I already got hate for it, but hey, whatever.
But
it is what it is. We all have our own opinion and experience, and for mine, I think we have a long way to go for those reasons.
Sure,
it's not about being a star. It's not Las Vegas doing it for you. You have to do your homework.
You have to think ahead. You have to communicate, get to the point, and you also have to take
the level is if you want to work alongside people like Mark Wahlberg and DiCaprio, you got to walk in holding your own as much as they do, and not ego.
Right.
Talent, and that's why I think
it's
a craft.
Must be able to take directions a first time. If you got to repeat it over and over again, it's redundant.
And you don't understand what they're saying.
Redundancy equals more time on set. More time on set equals more money. So
help. Step on the X. Where's the X? Yeah. Oh my God! It's that black sticker on the ground. Where? You've been there.
Upstage, downstage.
You've been there. You've been there. Where? And it's right there.
And that's the thing.
The only black thing on the ground.
You gotta have your training. You gotta know. Oh, are we on? Huh? Oh, anyway, you gotta be able to contribute. You gotta be able to pull your weight. That's it. Anyway, that's all.
Being famous, guys. That's all we want. It's Hollywood 2.0 is fame.
Yeah. So there's kind of.
We're going to bring Joe. That was our little kill time with the amazing Paul Gunn.
That was a warm up. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. Thank you, Maria.
But yes, we are going to cut to a new break because they're dying of laughter, and I think we're talking too much because we're spilling too much tea, and I don't need any more people on the hit. I don't need any more hit lists. So anyway, we get back. We're going to meet the other half of Gunn. And we are just going to get right into it because she's going to be her own personality as well. So, right after the break. Don't miss out on this.